Recently, I decided to join another basketball team. I used to play when I was very young, and now I'm older. I started working out more, so I feel like I'm in a much better physical to play basketball, and I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more. But one thing I've started to realize recently is that the lack of communication in my basketball league has really taken a detrimental toll on my basketball team. I personally feel like I'm a great athlete, but when I'm on the court with my teammate, it's hard to communicate. Sometimes, players will be running up and down the court in different directions and not guarding who they're supposed to be, not getting back on defense or boxing out, and it's something taught that needs to be taught by a coach, and there needs to be constant communication at all times. It's something that you really don't realize playing basketball, especially if you play organized with a coach. Be a winning and successful team without teamwork and communication. Direct coordination and communication from the coach can be one of the most successful factors in a basketball team. And playing on the court without a coach is a very interesting perspective. It's a different type of basketball. There's not as much direction, and it's much harder to succeed. And the last point I'm going to talk about is how communicating on offense and defense can really make or break a basketball team. So when you're playing organized basketball, you're really executing the coach's plays. He's giving you orders, and then you kind of maintain your role and you follow your role and try to execute the play as a team, rather than when you're just out there as a team. There might not be a general direction from the coach, so everyone is kind of just running around like a chicken with their head cut off. A coach, Chuck Borgazi, in an article, Communication with Players, discusses the concept of assertive communication, where he mentions how coaches have conversations over specific behaviors, and that's generally what the player will follow, other than the player, like I mentioned earlier, just going off and doing whatever he kind of wants on the court. And then often on the court, there's a couple if there's a couple point deficit, you will see the coach call a play for a specific athlete, putting that assignment on him, and then you'll watch that athlete carry out that specific order. So what happens when there isn't a coach present? Some basketball teams, you know, could be a lot more successful if the players chose to listen to their coach, like the Cleveland Cavaliers, for example, with LeBron. LeBron, decided to he wasn't going to listen to Mike Brown, and the Cavs went on a tremendous losing streak. So an example of this is when players don't listen to their coach, they tend to play without purpose and they don't execute the roles assigned to them. In an article by Colin Ward Henninger posted in CBS, the author describes a situation where the players stopped listening to their coach and they didn't compete very well. And it was because of a race issue that these players they didn't want to play for their coach anymore and stopped listening to them. So I mean, to me, what makes a basketball team extremely successful. This is my last point. Is communication on offense and defense. Um, that's what seems to be helping my team become a little bit better. We're communicating more in offense and defense. So Alan Stein discusses a concept how college athletes know to communicate much more effectively than high school athletes, and they call out screens on defense and offense and let each other know where their opponents are while they get back on the floor, and they're able to cut them off like fighter pilots, and it's really well coordinated. And then on offense, it's important to call out when you're open for shots. Let the point guard know if he doesn't have the court vision that you would expect him to. Talking is really the most important form of communication. on a basketball court. Sometimes you'll see players give off signals and whatnot. So in every good basketball team, you'll see good communication. On offense and defense at all times. From my own personal experience, it is much easier playing with a team where there is a good, effective coach. When it's the last play of the game and you're down by two, and the coach makes a call, he might tell me to shoot it, he might tell my teammate to shoot it, but that's my coach's decision. And if the outcome doesn't end the way I wanted it to, I can blame the coach and I don't have to carry that myself. So sometimes, for my sake, it's easier playing with a coach. Thank you.